Hi, I'm Keegan, and this is A Bunch of Gamers. This is our 180th episode of Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition, Lost in the Abyss. I'm going to go around and have my players introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play Cora. She's an Aruna in the Geta Fenris.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Mark Guides the Fallen, and he's a third of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm Sean. I play Zeb Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers. He is a Theurge of the Silent Striders.
Hello, my name is Riley, and I am playing Dimitri Howls-In-Memory, Lupus Galliard of the Bone Gnawers.
Hi, my name is George. I am playing William Grows-Matrices. He is a rune of the Glasswalkers.
Last time, the packs began to move around and try and solve some of their own individual issues, with Zeb, William, and Dimitri going to the Valkenburg Foundation to discover the secrets of Samuel Haight. Meanwhile, Kyle had received his Elder Challenge and is now gathering information about a Garu who is lost in Harano in the Abyss. Going to the Sept of Electric Peak, Kyle, Cora, and Mark learned a bit more of this Garu before finally traveling to the Abyss, the dark realm nearly blinding as their new journey begins. Cora, Mark, it is at this moment beside Kyle that a grenade lands in between all of you. Please make a dexterity athletics roll to jump out of the way.
Oh!
You both jump out of the way as it separates you from Kyle as he ducks and rolls another way as you see several phantasmal figures, some carrying carbines, other ones giant battle axes, all of them in various armor that looks like it's crafted of steel, battling several black spiral dancers as they're picking up various figures and throwing them into the maw of the abyss. The barely visible crescent moon light keep making everything incredibly difficult to keep track of. All perception checks at this time will be diff 9. What are you doing?
I'm going to activate Lambent Sight.
Okay.
Mark will spend a rage to go to his war form.
Okay. You notice that the sight does not get any easier here.
Oh, shit. Okay. Instead of switching into Krynos form, the wolf form makes it easier to see things, right? It's
easier to hear and see sometimes, yes.
So since Lambent Sight isn't working during this turn, can I spend a rage and shift into wolf form?
Well, this turn, actually, we're going to see what happens first. All right. Nothing has happened, so you can now try and spend rage to shift into lupus if you like.
I will. So yeah, I will spend a rage to shift into lupus.
Your hearing and your smell become more acute, but your sight gets no better.
Okay, that's fine.
And Mark, what are you doing this turn?
I'm gonna hang around Cora, and is there any... Well, a grenade got thrown at us. Are there any phantoms coming at us?
They're all fighting around you. That's what the nothing meant in the D3 roll in the chat.
Okay. Mark will look at Cora in his war form and tell her that
we need to get out of here, and we need to fight Kyle, because I lost sight of him after the explosion.
All right, begrudgingly, we'll go see if we can find Kyle, get to a safer place, and see what we can do.
Okay, I need a perception alertness check to see where you're going. Whoever has the highest. Diff 9.
6.
All right, diff 9.
Ooh.
It's not a botch, but you're running, and there are 3 paths ahead. You can choose the left, right, or middle, or you can choose at random. I'm going to count down from 5 left. Okay. As you start moving down the leftward path, you are escaping the army as the area becomes cragged and difficult to move through. I need a dexterity athletics roll, diff 7, to keep your footing. Cora is able to. What about Mark?
Diff 7, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. There we go.
All right, you're able to stay on the ground briefly. You just try and start to move away from the fighting. The moon sets and day comes, and you are now in complete sensory deprivation. You cannot see in front of you. You cannot see behind you. Everything seems to be of one color. The dim static of blood. I am going to need a perception primal urge diff 8.
I got 6. What do you
7.
Both. You both roll it.
Okay, cool.
Sig botched.
Yeah.
Sig, you are confronted by the strange sound of nothingness. You can't even hear Cora next to you anymore. You hear the blood in your bloodstream, the motions of your organs, the hair on your head slowly growing. Even the tactile feeling of the sand and the earth beneath you is gone. It is like you are floating in nothing, quietly, unendingly. I need you to roll willpower, difficulty 9, please.
Oh boy. Oh moly. Oof.
You're able to keep it together, but you do lose a point of willpower. Cora, you don't know where. It's hard to hear. It's muffled, as if it was just behind something, a filter, something along those lines. And you hear the whisper of Andy paints with twilight. Cora, Cora, are you there?
Andy?
Cora!
Andy, where are you? I can't see.
I've been lost in here so long, Cora. They took my body, and now I'm trapped here.
Yeah, is there a direction that I can hear where she's coming from? Like her voice?
Yeah, a little bit to your right.
Okay. I will follow that, and can I smell anything? Is there any...
There's not a lot of scent, but it's hard to tell because everything is so muted here with the abyss. As you head right, I need you to do a dexterity athletics roll, difficulty 9. You catch yourself just before you fall. You start to fall off the trail into the maw of the abyss. Your claws catch a little bit as you go sliding down and hit another piece of the trail just in time.
Am I able to feel the difference? Is it just my sight and my sound and my scent that's gone? Can I feel the dirt and the grass? And
you can feel some of the dirt, but once again, it feels distant. You're feeling it through mittens.
Okay. I guess I will... Oh, gosh. Because I want to ask Andy what she can feel, but I'd have to shift again.
Shifting to Hamid costs nothing.
I'm going to shift into Glabro, so I still have a little bit of oomph, but...
Okay. Alright, so you spend a rage to shift to Glabro.
I do. And then I'll call Andy and see, what do you feel? What do you feel around you?
Nothing. I don't feel anything. It feels like my whole body's gone. Cora, I failed him. I failed him so bad.
Coral, stop. What do you mean, who?
Bloodwind. I joined his pack so that he'd never have to lament the loss of another he loved. And I'm gone. Cora, I feel something under my feet.
What do you
feel smooth.
Like rocks?
No, maybe. Rocks mixed with something else. Maybe metal?
Coral, not crawl, but kind of crawl along the path, see if she can find something that feels similar.
You do feel something kind of slick and metallic under your fingers.
Does Andy sound closer?
She doesn't. She still sounds distant.
Distant. Kind of like when you're on the phone and it's I know you're right in my ear, but you sound far away.
Yes.
Gotcha. Andy, I don't think you failed anybody. None of the Black Furies know what's going on. That's not your fault. It's not your failure.
It is, though. I could have prepared him better. Just like how Regender failed you. Could have prepared you better for what you changed into. Remember when you were so horrified after your first change? He talked about setting off an explosive, killing innocents, and he just said they were only human. How many times have you said it, Cora? How many times were they only human?
Andy, it's my own failure that I haven't become who I wanted to be yet. Still working on it. Not quite there. But that's my own failure.
You feel a hand on your shoulder. Take my hand, Cora. Please.
Does it still sound like Andy?
Yes.
Like completely Andy?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cora trusts Andy, so Cora will put her hand on Andy's hand on her shoulder.
You grab, and it feels like there's nothing there, though the sensation of her hand is on your shoulder, as there's a break in the trail, and I need once again a dexterity athletics diff 9. You lose your balance, you fall, and you hit the ground hard. You take 2 points of bashing damage, and you pass out. Meanwhile, Zeb, it's February the 2nd, as you finally got into Virginia. Hearing about from the Garu that you've met in your travels, it seems like the last time anyone's seen any large congregation of Silent Striders is at the Sept of Awakening at Haynes Point in Washington, D.C.
Where did I end up in Virginia once I got where I needed to be? I'm assuming I'm in Northern Virginia somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, you're in Northern Virginia, and that's what you've heard, that there were Silent Striders in Washington, D.C., so you're following that lead is what I was...
Right, no, absolutely. I just wanted just a general distance of... But yeah, I mean, I'll head into the district.
Yeah, so you're in that area, you get there pretty quickly, as you are met by the Sept Elder, a Mother Tamara, a Bonar pushing it up in years, a ripe old 77 years old for a Garu.
Hot damn. I mean, there's a little bit of greenery in that area, but it's still an urban cairn, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, he'll be cautious approaching her. I mean, looking around just to make sure he doesn't, clearly breach the veil by even, speaking out loud to her. Mother, can I help you?
Okay, coin for the can, handsome.
Yeah, Zeb will pull some change out, drop it in.
Drops it as she shakes the can. Thank you. Heard you were traveling, Elder.
Yes, indeed. Looking for some friends on the street, ma'am. Not sure if you might have seen them around. Or heard them.
Have heard of them. Something about Greater Mourning. That what you looking for, young man?
That I am.
Ah, well. Heard they packed it up. Went over to West Virginia not too long ago. Looking at a coal mine. The big one. You know the one. Biggest one this side of the Appalachians. Looks like they found some trouble and are trying to handle it with deft hands and trying not to claw out their hair, if you catch my meaning.
I reckon I am. How far of a head start they have?
Oh, about 5 whole days. You go fast, but they also ain't dumb. They don't jump into things. It's not like they're fighting someone for the homeland. Not like an unruly landlord that kicked them out of their home. No, they learn to walk a bit more softly and with a bit more purpose and with a bit more thought.
Glad to know they aren't causing too much trouble.
Y'all sweet as punch, right as rain in my book.
Anything I can do for you before I go and look for these fellas?
Oh, if you could just do a little thing here and there, maybe take a look at that young man there. See, he's kind of one of them, well, I don't want to say it too, I don't want to use a nasty word, but he is what they call a fed, and he's been looking around here a bit too often with a bit too much interest, if you catch my drift.
I do. What kind of questions have you been asking?
Oh, just questions here and there, just asking about some of us. Especially because one of my tribe is starting to get real uppity and starting to try and organize and do something real interesting. Sure, he'll be reaching out real soon, having real fun, you hear me?
Things could stand a shake-up. I'll look into him. Zeb will get like some details from her about where this Fed's normally seen,
Yeah.
like what he does.
Yep, yeah, and you get that information. You can find out what park benches he's on, all that, where he's going, how he's been tracking some of the kin, some of the Garu here, etc., etc. And meanwhile, you're gathering all that. Dimitri, you're at Sacred Stone. Your alpha left without saying a word, and Fomori's Bane are on a spirit quest. How are you crying?
Well, is that how am I crying?
How are you crying?
The worst, ugliest sobs you could imagine. But,
Good.
I guess if Dimitri's training is all done, I guess he's gonna go around, and I guess check on the kinfolk that didn't leave and make sure they're doing okay.
Okay, you start approaching them. They're talking about how they're doing fine. How are you, Dimitri? I know that they shot at you, right? You and your friend William?
Yeah, but nobody got hurt.
Well, that's good. Hey, could you help us out with something?
Sure.
So, some of this food stuffs here, as they start pulling it out, is slightly expired, and it's starting to taste kind of funny. But we need to feed some people at the homeless camp. Is there a way you could use your culinary magic, wink, to help spruce this up and feed a few folks?
Sure, I can see what I can do.
So, let's see.
I think I want to assume that's a diff 7.
It is a diff 6 with survival.
Okay.
1 person per success. So, you're only able to feed 1 person with this horrible concoction. It's better than nothing. Meanwhile, in the abyss, the moon starts to rise again. As Mark, you start to get feeling back under your feet. You feel like you're on solid ground again. It's impossible. It's still very hard to see. The walls are just a slightly lighter shade of black than the gaping maw beneath you, though there are small ribbons of silver on the path now that you see. But more importantly, it's what you don't see. You don't see Cora. As Cora, you wake up coughing, your back is in agony, and you find yourself looking around alone. Mark, what would you like to do?
Mark would like to tap into his spider uplink and try to get a hold of Cora. Hopefully she has hers on as well.
All right, roll Gnosis.
And that's div 6.
Yep. Your message gets through, but it is full of static. What is the message to Cora?
Where are you?
As you hear that, Cora, with an unusual amount of static, the spirit within the headset is actually getting drained very quickly of Gnosis because they have to partially leave the earpiece. Mark, you know that the Abyss forces all spirits to materialize, and they start to lose access to their gifts and their essence quickly.
Mark will remember this, and then he'll slowly walk where he thinks Cora went, keeping an eye in his very immediate vicinity and listening for any possible followers or intruders. He's going to try to stay as quiet as possible in his war form.
Okay, that is Dex Stealth Diff 9. It's real hard to be stealthy as a several 100-pound walking death machine.
If it's just the crunch of my feet, I don't mind. But we'll try. Dexterity, stealth. Okay, it's not a botch.
So you're going at normal kind of sound. You hear the cracking and the crunching of the cliffs. You have to hold a hand on it because you're so large that the pathway is a bit more precarious because of it. As the pathway splits, one staying at about the same level you are at now, and one that is a steep climb downwards. Cora, what are you doing?
I think first things first is get my bearings, figure out like what's around me, and try as best as I can since everything is dimmed and hard to see.
You notice that you're fairly down in the abyss, and actually things are harder to see than they were before. All perception alertness tests are at diff 10 for you.
Super duper. Are there any trails that I can
You're
that are around me?
You are on one, and then you'll need to do a perception alertness to see how the trails proceed, or just use feel to move along the one you are on currently.
I think that's what I'll do. I'll use feel. Been not treating me so well, but we'll still do it.
I do like the, where are you? Fuck him. Army crawl.
Well, she's trying to concentrate on getting to where she can see something better. She'll get back to him in a minute.
Yeah, he perfectly will understand that and not, she's dead.
Meanwhile, Mark on the cliff. She's dead. She's dead. She's dead.
Yeah.
She's dead. She's dead.
I'm by myself. Oh no. Oh god.
Cora tactics through inference.
Yeah, inference. Cora's not dead. You can just infer that.
Okay. Alright, as you're moving along, you do feel the trail going down slightly and staying on the same level. You still get that metallic sort of feeling in between your fingers, and there's a slight sheen, but that's about it.
Okay. Well, now that she's got a way that she's going, she'll respond to Mark. And no idea.
Alright, roll Gnosis, diff 6. The message comes in loud and clear, Mark, but the uplink is open, so you are able to communicate.
Two-Hearts. You're not dead. Ugh.
Of course not.
Stay where you are. I'll try to find you. I'm on top of some cliffs. Do you see any? Or on the side of any? Well, we're in the abyss.
They're clawing for you, is what you both hear in your headsets.
All right. Turn it off now.
Before Mark could say anything, I take it. So, Mark's gonna start making the path downwards. He's gonna try that path.
Okay. Due to it being so narrow, it will be Dex Athletics, difficulty 10 in Krynos.
Yeah. I'll take the time to switch to Glabro.
Okay, that drops the difficulty to 8.
I take it if I go down to Lupus, it'll be really less difficult.
It'll drop down to 7.
Let's do that. Let's go
Okay.
to Lupus. Okay. There we go.
All right, as you start moving down, there's a fissure, so I need a Strength Athletics.
Okay.
Diff 4, you need a total of 4 successes to make it to the other side.
All right. Whoops.
You leap, you miss, the best part is you don't even comically like slam in partway down and slide down. You get like halfway there and you're like, oh shit. And that is the thought that comes through your mind as you start tumbling down. I need a stamina roll.
Okay.
That's the 6, yes? Just making sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
So, as you start hitting the walls, you start rolling sharp rocks, clawing and digging into your side, releasing blood as you take 2 points of lethal damage as you hit another trail down below hard as the dust settles and some small stones and gravel start rolling off and striking you. All perception alertness difficulties are at diff 10 at this intersection of the abyss, and you hear a whispering in the back of your mind. Mark, the voice of Jonathan Nightbiter coming.
In his post-falling haze, Mark will, in his lupus form, I guess, start growling and gnashing his teeth a little bit and think to himself, Nightbiter. And kind of try to get up.
You're wounded. Take a moment. Focus on healing, just like I taught you.
Mark will take his moment.
As a point of lethal heals.
Why here? Why now? Why you?
Where do you think the souls of those of Gaia's vengeful teeth go? We're forgotten, struck from the record. All things lost, all things forgotten, come to the abyss. There are others here who are forgotten, Mark. Less deserving than me.
All things come here, then it's not a matter of deserving.
All things
Mark.
lost and forgotten come here. As you hear kind of Pup Whimpers, gunshots, pain, the sound of your pack before Fomori's bane. In the distance, howling for respite, howling for help. You'll never forget me, even if the nation does. But you forgot them.
Further down, Mark will shake his lupus head. Go, no, I need to find Cora. Need to find Cora.
Don't worry. They'll be here with the lost gods. There's silence. Though you hear the winds, then suddenly up above, higher, a great maelstrom happening at the surface level of the abyss.
Mark will shake his lupus head again. He'll look around, and to further the moment of respite, he's going to concentrate really hard on trying finding Cora's scent.
Perception alertness will make it diff 9, because it's not sight-based. You get a scent of Cora. It's faint, but it's there. You have to move cautiously, though.
Mark will do such in like a continuous sniff to see if maybe he'll get stronger as he goes along.
Going along, there is another fissure that you'll need to jump. That'll be strength, athletics, diff 4, but you only need 3 successes to succeed at this.
Okay.
You leap and get to the other side. Cora, what are you doing as you're moving along, kind of army crawling against your trail when you get to a fissure yourself? That fissure will require, in Glabro form, a strength athletics roll, difficulty 4, but you will require 6 successes. Unless you are in lupus form, then it drops to 3.
I'll take the time to go to lupus form.
Okay. Stamina Primal Urge or spend a point of rage.
Stamina Primal Urge.
You'll need
Diff
3
6.
successes, diff 6. You shift to lupus. Now you may make the strength athletics roll. Diff 4, you only need 3 successes.
Masterfully.
As you gracefully leap across and land, you skitter a little bit. Can I get a willpower roll diff 8 from the both of you? Not a botch. Mark, you're able to continue on. Cora, as you land, you get this horrid feeling of like centipedes crawling up your legs, and the whispering of, "You'll never come back. You lost them both, like you lose everyone else." 1 willpower damage, please. So 1 point of willpower, please. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C.
True abyss. All right. I'll be activating some fetishes I'll activate Zeb's fetish. And my question is this dude patrolling around or has a general? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's that plain officer's cop that everyone clearly knows is a cop, sort of thing.
Okay. All right, Keegan. So I'm activating Zeb's fetish for stealth, and the other thing he'll end up doing is I'm gonna activate. I'm gonna end up trying to get close to this dude, and the reason being is I want to do sense the unnatural.
Okay.
To make sure that try to ascertain what I'm dealing with. And
Okay.
so the first part of that though, so I'll stealth toward like I'll wait. There'll be a period of time we're on the street, whatever, right? And I'll just kind of make sure that I'm standing where I need to stand. So there's going to be 2 things I want to do. I want to use blissful ignorance to at least counteract him if he's looking for a tail, and then I'll do sense the unnatural to just ascertain what I'm dealing with. So I'll do the first one. Okay. Well, that's a whole bunch of successes. If he's trying to look for me, that he'll suffer as automatically counteracting him, and then I'll roll for sense the unnatural.
All right. You do not get the smell of anything unnatural about this guy at all.
Okay. Just a dude doing a job.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tail him for a time until there's whether it's on his way home, wherever the heck, before I attack him, Keegan. So it'll just be a period of time where Zeb's gonna be kind of waiting for the opportunity to murk this dude.
Okay. He's
in a
going,
place that's
Yeah. So he gets he starts moving back. He goes back to the bureau, comes back out, gets ready to head on home. He goes home. He's a bachelor. As he gets to his apartment, goes in. How do you want to do it?
All right, I'll stealth into his place, Keegan, and I'm guessing part of that will require probably some kind of larceny roll too to break in.
Yep.
But, all right. So we'll do the stealth roll first.
Okay.
And then I will actually activate Umbral Camouflage in case there's any awakened equipment that might be actually watching Zeb when he's moving through here, just in case.
Okay.
Is the gauntlet low enough that Zeb can see across to see if there's anything that's watching this dude?
It would be 9 here.
Okay. All right. So then he can't. All right. Well, then we're gonna perform a break-in, sir.
All right. If you're picking a lock, it's Dex larceny. If you're kicking the door in at a perfect angle without just brute force, that is strength larceny.
Okay.
Though the strength larceny one will break your stealth check.
Roger. All right. We'll do the Dex one then. What's the difficulty?
For picking a lock, 5. All right. You pick the lock and start to move in. The guy's on his couch before he kind of looks over and goes, "Who the fuck are..."
I'll spend the rage and...
He's down. He's done.
Okay. I will rob him of any money that he has
Okay.
and his peace, and I will leave.
Excellent. Meanwhile, in Colorado Springs, having an ice cream cone, Dimitri is on a nearby bench going, "Wish my friends liked me."
I guess the next thing Dimitri is gonna do.
Well, Dimitri's doing some training time too, right?
Oh yes, yeah, he is. I guess after one of the days of long hard training, I'm gonna use Dream Speak and visit Sven.
Okay. Dimitri, as you enter the dream, the sky is rolling with thunderclouds. The red star is hanging up above, and Sven is watching it cautiously as the clouds take the form of a serpent ready to strike the earth. As you hear the rumble of distant footsteps of an army.
And Dimitri will approach and kind of and he'll say, "Hey, Sven,
Hey, Papa.
how are you doing?"
Waiting. The battle's coming.
Yeah, it's coming soon. But while you're waiting, you want to listen to a story?
I would love to hear a story, Papa.
All right. And Dimitri is gonna sit down and tell Sven, maybe one of the old Bonar stories, or a story from the Sept of the Winterfang. Actually, yeah, probably a story from the Sept of the Winterfang. A Get story, perhaps, about heroes going on adventures, Vikings exploring unknown waters, fighting monstrous creatures, stuff like that.
Can I get a charisma performance check? Diff 5. Sven seems very pleased as he goes,
Thank you, Papa. This is the best stream in a while.
That's good. Are they treating you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm glad that even in my dreams, that's what you say.
Dimitri's gonna give Sven a hug and say, "You're gonna be okay, Sven. Everything is going to be okay in the end. I know you have a lot on your shoulders with this prophecy and everything, but we make our own fate, and I think you're gonna be okay."
I hope so, Papa. The dream is the same every night, except this night, because you're here. But you should run. They're almost here.
as you see the army cresting over the hill, and Sven strikes his leg down as you see him give a growl. He shoots up to being over 12 feet tall, his teeth snarling as he gives a howl of defiance, as you see armies on either side of him, as he gives a great howl, and the sun collapses in on itself, and the only light is Anthelios, as he rushes forward and splits in twine and battles both armies as two different versions, himself against the worm and his shadow against the forces of Gaia. And yet, you notice when he is driven back by both, he strikes and the shadow fuses with his flesh, and something new is born as he stands up and howls, and the earth quakes, and a rolling storm comes in, and a great thunderbolt strikes the earth before the dream is over, and you waken.
That's going to be fun to put into my story.
Cora, Mark, you've been crawling for what feels like days. I need a stamina check from both of you, please. Diff 8. You're able to hold off against the hunger. Your stomach's growling. Though, here in the Umbra, if worse comes to worst, you can feed off your own gnosis instead of food. As you are continuing to explore, and luckily the nights get a little, just a hair, easier to see by. But because you are now so deep in the abyss, it is still quite difficult, and it is diff 9 again for all of your perception alertness rolls, with little shimmering paths of silver, and sometimes now even caverns that dot the edges of the trail, as if to hold things or places for you to potentially sleep during the day when it becomes impossible to see by. I want you both to roll a single d6. Moving through, I need from both of you a dexterity athletics diff 8 as the pathway narrows exceptionally difficult. So even in your lupus form, it is difficult to walk along it. So you move through watching your feet, making sure that you don't misstep, lest you fall into the mob below. Cora, you feel something knock you in the head as you're looking down.
I look up to see what's going on.
You see Mark there. Mark, you also felt something knock into your head.
I look up.
And you see Cora there. Dim, but very, very dim. Similar to some of the other things you'd been seeing down here recently.
In lupus form, Mark will give the excited ear twitches and the happy look of finding Cora, and to advise her we should stick together as much as possible, and we should not delve further deeper if we don't have to, because the deeper we go into the abyss, the chances of escaping grow slimmer.
That's a very complicated message to send as a wolf.
Blinks, twitches, ear things.
It'd probably be something along the lines of hunt as pack.
Yeah.
Yep, hunt as pack.
Yeah.
Scary place. Don't go deeper.
Is there a way to turn around?
No, one of you's got to
No.
choose to go backwards.
I'll go backwards.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, since you are used to the steps, you will now make a dexterity athletics roll, difficulty 7. You succeed, but you're shaky. You finally get to where the path widens up again, and your heart sinks to feel yourself finally be back on solid ground, even though it's maybe like 2.5 feet across.
But it's better than a few inches.
Correct.
And she'll just kind of hunker down and wait for Mark to get over to her.
Yep, and Mark gets there.
Would there have been like an empty cave on the trail that I was following?
Yes, there were caves. You can't guarantee that they're empty.
Can't guarantee they're empty. Okay. Cora, I can turn around here now, right?
Yeah.
Carefully.
Yes.
And she'll just lead on to kind of like a cave mouth, I guess, where it's a little bit wider, so they have a little bit of space.
Okay.
And she'll shift to Glabro.
Okay.
Mark will switch to Glabro as well.
As you get slightly into the cave.
Lean against the wall. Take a rest.
Ugh. Are you okay?
As okay as the abyss allows you to be. There's lots of whispering.
Of course. Nor the whispers. It's only gonna tempt us to go deeper into the abyss.
Well, the trick is now, which way is not deeper?
Well, typically, diving off a cliff makes you go deeper. So let's not do that. We need to find Guardslow. It's been a couple days. We definitely have lost him. Well, the best we can rely on is our noses, hopefully. We shouldn't tarry for too long. As empty as these caverns may seem, there could be forgotten horrors wanting to be remembered.
Keegan, were there any forks in my path or in Mark's path?
Yeah, there were several forks in your paths. Most of them led down. You'll have to try... If you're going to continue down your path, you're going to have to take a couple days, once again returning to where you fell and going the opposite direction from whence you came.
So I'll take a couple more days, and that'll be the same for Mark as well, since...
Yes. He'd been traveling for a couple days, yes.
All right, well, I guess we can continue on this path so that we don't have to cross that fissure again that we met at.
Yeah, the path narrowing, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And switch back to lupus form.
Okay.
For sure.
Yep, and continue backwards.
As you do for the next few days. Zeb, you've now traveled these past few days. Yes.
I was going to do one thing. I was going to give Mother Tamara most of the money that I stole, plus the gun as a trophy.
Okay.
And then bounce. But yes, sorry, thank you.
As you start traveling, and you finally find the Striders in the hills of West Virginia. They are Jeremiah Sunseeker, a white man of kind of like aged out deadhead appearance, but who, when things get serious, has this kind of like serious, demeanor about him. And Angela Lights the Hidden, a black woman of medium height, short cropped hair, and very, very practical hiking clothing.
Just them?
Just them.
Zebel, they're camping or just...
Yeah, they're just camping.
Okay. Mother said you had a couple days head start on me. Good to find you, Ken.
And you, Ken. We've heard of you.
I heard there's something up here in the mines you all are tracking.
Looks like an old spirit, Jeremiah says. Spirit that was bound by the three brothers. Looks like it's about to get excavated by a local coal mine here, and be released by accident.
They tell you about it? Did you find out about it?
Found out about it. Found it because, well, there was a leech who had investments in this place and noticed some of the workers going missing. Found that out from him before we made him greet Helios.
You trying to rebind it, or is it beyond that now?
His binding hasn't been broken yet. We were trying to figure out the most humane way of dealing with this, and unfortunately we're running out of time, so we'd decided on working together to summon a powerful earth spirit and perform an umbral quake to collapse huge swaths of the mine, turn it into a PR disaster so that they don't come back, at least for some time.
So, and like for clarity's sake, I mean, they're talking about a bane that's been bound here, right? I mean,
yeah.
He's saying, okay. He said spirit, and I just wanted to make sure I'm not missing the undertone. I mean, unless there's a knowledge roll wise, ritual wise, that Zeb would have a better idea, that sounds perfectly logical to him, and he would offer to help.
All right. In exchange for your help, they have agreed to teach you the Rite of Mourning, or the Rite of Greater Mourning.
Rite of Greater Mourning, okay.
And so you do that, you all come together as you offer great amounts of gnosis to the spirit of the mountain itself. He's full of holes, his body leaking kind of dust and powder. And it's one of the largest earthquakes in West Virginia history. It levels 3 nearby towns as well, and the mine collapses, killing well over 30 workers. It is a PR disaster for the company, who had, of course, skimped out on some of the protections. While it would not have saved all the workers, it would have saved enough thanks to a federal investigation that happens a few days later. And so now for that rite, you will need to do an intelligence rituals Difficulty 10 minus your intelligence. You need a total of 5 successes. Each roll represents 5 weeks.
All right.
Hey. So it'll take you 5 weeks to learn this rite.
All right.
Dimitri, you're training away at Colorado Springs. Is there anything else you want to do but while taking a break? It's February, so it's been a couple months. Or it's been over a month now. Yeah. Of hard training.
Dimitri's gonna check in and see what Steven's up to.
Steven is having a great time. He's like, hey, I've heard some, there's been some, or he's looking kind of somber. He's like, hey, come here.
Hey,
Where's
Steve.
your
What's
pack?
They've all run off on errands. Kind of got left behind.
Well, shit, okay. Well, the news is going off today. Just yesterday. Another Christmas massacre is what the news is calling it.
More police brutality?
Yeah, student protests all over the country. Looks like to stamp down on things, the National Guard and the police open fire. So far, the news is saying about 150 students are dead, but they're still getting the numbers, and 300 injured. They just declared martial law. Yeah, they just declared martial law in L.A., New York, Boston, Tampa, Providence, Rhode Island. I heard some cities in Connecticut are next.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Steven, if you wanted to do some mass police property damage, but I think we're going to have to add some payback on top of that.
You're speaking my language. And you know, it's what Agatha would have wanted.
Exactly.
Let's, if you want to head to the green with me, we can do some damage. I heard Roger's thinking of trying to do some damage too. Heard he's been organizing.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We going for personal property or police equipment?
We're going to be destroying some police equipment first, I think. And, you know, if I get a little too crazy and take a few of them out, you know, it's harder to be a cop when you know that a good old Molotov's gonna strike you and do some damage. It's an old bone gnawer fetish. I'll have to show you.
I'd love to see it.
All right. Well, I got a talent here for you as he hands it to you. So we've got to do a couple jumps to the Sept of the Green.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna say I picked up a new gift or two a while back. Could destroy some buildings, maybe rust out some cars.
Excellent. Let us do that. All right. As you wait a couple days, as Steven gets a couple things ready, and guys start getting ready to head out, when Cora, Mark, you guys get back to where Cora had fallen initially, and you see someone there.
Do we recognize this someone?
It's very hard to see, though it is a bit lighter now. Let me check the moon phase, because that will determine your perception abilities. Oh, you also both have to spend Gnosis to feed yourselves at this point.
Will do.
Sure.
Half moon, so your all perception checks are at diff 8 at this level in the abyss. It is nighttime. He's not easily recognizable. He is tall, though. Well over 10 feet tall, and a shrouded cloak that seems to be crafted and stitched of the damned themselves. His midnight coat of fur seems dark even for here in the abyss, and his amber eyes give off a horrifying glow, as if they suck the very light out around you. Upon his brow rests a crown crafted of nightmares given solid form, and a wry, welcoming yet unwelcoming smile crests his lupine face. Crackles of lightning that resemble cracks of non-existence ripple around him.
Hello again.
He says in a deep, guttural voice, as you are greeted by Nightmaster, Master of the Abyss. and we will see how this all shakes out next time. Thank you to everyone who listened. We'll catch you in that next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.